So, how bad is John Walker? Well, let's see.
Person in American history to receive 3 Medals of Honor.
The Medal of Honor is the United States' highest and most prestigious military decoration. It's literally the biggest reward a soldier can receive. The requirements for the Medal of Honor is extremely difficult. They must be distinguished. They must distinguish himself conspicuously by gallantry or intrepidity at the risk of his own life and beyond the call of duty. Basically, they have to do things like carry a wounded ally while getting shot at, jump on top of grenades, giving cover fire without any cover. You know, the stuff where when people do it, they have like a 95% chance of dying. On September 11th, 2020. The total amount of recipients that have the Medal of Honor is 3,507, and the total awarded posthumously was 618. That number means that 618 people received the Medal of Honor after they died. Because most of the time when you're doing something that makes it so where you're actually able to receive the Medal of Honor, that's doing something that's risking your life. These are people that have jumped on grenades or have, given cover using their own bodies to their allies and teammates. This is some serious shit. And then I think a good percentage of them as well are people that died before they received it because the fucking government took so goddamn long giving them the proper reward that they need. As mentioned before, there are currently 3,473 Medals of Honors that have been awarded, and the current amount of military personnel that is at this moment serving and that are active is close to a little over 1 million active duty members. That means the total amount of people that have received the Medal of Honor is less than, it's less than 1% of the total current amount of people that are serving, and that doesn't include all the other members in past history that have served as well. Now, there are actual double recipients, people that have received the Medal of Honor twice, whether it's because they served in 2 missions or linked missions or whatever. But as far as I can tell, it seems like John Walker, according to the show, is the first person to receive 3 Medals of Honor, which is technically possible since double recipients actually do exist. Although in the comics, Steve Rogers does have a Medal of Honor, I don't think he actually has it in the cinematic universe. However, he does have the American Defense Service model and the Purple Heart medal.
Ran RS-1 missions in counterterrorism and hostage rescue.
We were told before that he was given the rank of captain before he even became Captain America. He works in counterterrorism and hostage rescue. His job is literally to save people. He saves Sam. He just does it. He just shows up and saves him. He doesn't necessarily save Bucky, but he certainly, helps him when was previously getting attacked by those, 2 guys. Also, everyone seems to complain that he uses a gun. Does no one remember the fact that in Avengers, the first one, Captain America used an assault rifle, and in the first Avengers movie that he first appeared in, he also used a gun? That was one of his main weapons. Captain America did kill people. He's done it multiple times throughout the movies. You can look it up. I don't understand how one person can believe that a soldier like Captain America can go throughout an entire war without killing a single person. Or that throwing a fucking giant metal shield at somebody's chest with super strength isn't also going to kill them. But I think the biggest thing here is that John Walker gives up the shield, without even thinking about it. He sees his partner getting attacked while he's getting his ass beat. Instead of just beating the person that he's fighting, he goes out of his way to save his partner When his partner is yet again kicked off of the truck, he immediately throws his shield and gives it up, which, was the only reason he was even able to keep up against super soldiers was because of that shield. And yet he gave it up to save his partner. I think one of my biggest problems with a lot of these MCU fans is that they are just the most toxic fucking people. The writers and directors themselves stated that they are changing John Walker from the comics to be a more person that is actually deserving of the shield. Now, whether or not he's the one that's supposed to use it, obviously not. That belongs to Sam. But it doesn't mean that just because he has it that he doesn't deserve it. Second is that they immediately attack his looks. I mean, you can go to every single comment, every single reaction video. The first thing they do is they make fun of the way he looks. Why? Because he hasn't done anything bad yet. And they want to hate him, so they think of a reason to dislike him, even though there hasn't been an actual genuine reason to dislike him yet. And what's worse of all is that these fans are also attacking the actor who plays John Walker, which is just frankly fucking ridiculous. Look, you can dislike anyone you want to. This is a free country. At least in the US it is. Not implying that there aren't any other free countries. But if you're going to dislike the guy, at least give him a reason. At least give a decent enough reason to dislike him. One of the things I love about John Walker is that he's not a fucking perfect person, and he's a regular ass dude that's trying to live up to ideals that is just frankly impossible to live up to. He makes mistakes. He's not perfect. I mean, in the third episode, a guy spits in his face. I know that almost anyone, if that were to happen to, would immediately resort to violence. He literally held himself back. If you got spit on in the face, you're telling me your first reaction wouldn't be to start swinging? Because I can tell you right now, everybody's reaction would be to start swinging. It takes a lot of resolve to not do that shit. He's literally done basically every single thing that Captain America's done before. Captain America's jumped on a grenade. John Walker's jumped on a grenade. Captain America rescued hostages in World War II. John Walker worked in hostage rescue. Captain America took on Hydra, which is a terrorist organization. John Walker worked in counterterrorism. And Winter Soldier, Captain America gave up his shield to save his best friend. John Walker did the exact same thing, doing all of it without the super soldier serum. He's not a perfect guy. He makes mistakes. He says the wrong things. But it seems like he's really just trying to help people. People call him America's poster boy, but what was Steve? The only big difference between him and Steve was that he accepted the fact that he was... Well, actually didn't even accept the fact that he was the quote-unquote poster boy. I mean, we see in the locker room that he hates all of that stuff the same way Steve does. It's quite obvious that he's the mantle of what Captain America is and his ideals. He's having trouble living up to them because why would you? Steve Rogers was just so goddamn perfect. John Walker is a flawed character. He's a real person with depth. Steve Rogers is a walking, talking embodiment of America, all the best parts of America, while at the same time going against the worst parts of America. There's a scene in the third episode where they talk about catching the flag smashers, and John Walker says, "Who cares? As long as we get the job done, does it really matter how it's done?" And people are like, "Oh, he's a bad guy because of that like one scene." Bruh, Steve Rogers has done the exact same thing 1,000 times. Steve Rogers' whole thing is to go against the government and the military. In the first movie, he disobeyed the general's orders. Winter Soldier is literally just him disobeying the entirety of the government. Civil War is disobeying the government. John Walker is following that path. John Walker is so fucking different from his comic book counterpart, and yet they are always so compared with each other. And I think the worst part about all of this is, and you can go and look at all the different reaction channels and look at all the different things and shit or whatever, the comments, but they call Battlestar his sidekick. The people call him that. The people that watch the show. Battlestar is not his sidekick, he's his partner. It is stated in the fucking show. Battlestar says, "I'm John's partner." John's like, "No, John didn't go like, no, you're my sidekick." No, he nodded. It's quite obvious that the two of them have high respects for each other. They probably served together. It seems like, Hoskins, Battlestar, seems to be extremely proud that John is in this position. He's trying to be his guiding hand. He's trying to keep him on the straight path. There are 3 moments that that people use it as an excuse to dislike John Walker. First one is when he accidentally calls Falcon his wingman. I mean, that's the exact same thing that everyone else is doing with him and, you know, Hoskins and Battlestar. Even though they're both partners and they're aware that they're partners, everyone else on the outside views Hoskins as the black sidekick when that isn't the case. So how is it possible? How is it right that the viewer, and the many viewers can make that mistake, but when he makes it, it's suddenly wrong? The second is when he said, "Get the hell out of my way" at the last bit of episode 2. Have you seen what Bucky and Sam are doing in episode 3? They broke out. Bucky breaks out Zemo, a well-known terrorist that has killed lots of innocent people, broke apart the Avengers, and killed the king of at the time, current king of Wakanda. Are you fucking kidding me? Sure, it's getting them results, but they're actively breaking the law while doing it. And of course, the next bit is when he gets spit on and it says, "Do you know who I am?" I want to preface this by saying I don't think he is saying, "I am Captain America." I think he's saying, "I'm John Walker. Do you know who John Walker is?" When he enters the room, he doesn't introduce himself as Captain America. He actually introduces himself as John Walker. Now, obviously, this is one of those things that's, you know, kind of like he's a flawed character. It's getting to him. You can see how disheveled he is. Like, at the start of episode 2, at the end of episode 2, he is so disheveled. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. Like, he's not handling the pressure of being who he is. And instead of just beating the shit out of the guy that spits on him, he lets it go. I'm sorry. I think I've talked about this before already. Nobody in the world would probably let someone spit on you and not do anything about it. The amount of restraint he had was incredible. The fact that all he did was shove is incredible. Because he had the power. He had all the power to beat the fuck out of that guy and get away with it. He was in control of the entire situation. If he wanted to do something evil, he could have. But he isn't. Because what I think is that John Walker is an anti-hero. Like a good guy that genuinely wants to save people, but doesn't do it through the best means. I mean, take a look at Punisher, for instance. Punisher, by all means, is 1,000 times worse than this guy, but why does he get praise and John Walker gets shit on? And why does... I see this comparison a lot. Is I can't imagine this guy fighting Thanos. Or, I don't think this guy's worthy of Mjolnir. I don't think Steve was able to... If you took Steve from the first Avenger, I don't think he could fight Thanos either. In fact, I don't think Steve from the first Avenger might even be able to lift Thor's hammer. Who fucking knows? Maybe he could. My point is, Steve had time to become the new Captain America. He had years of practice. This dude is the new guy. Don't expect him to immediately be just like Steve. He's got to build his way up there. Anyway, this video is already going too long. Look, my point is, wait until the guy does something that is actually worth hating to hate the dude. I mean, he hasn't said any slurs. He hasn't hurt any innocent people that didn't deserve it, because that guy that spit on him, personally, I thought deserved getting his ass beat, but, you know, he didn't do it, so whatever. Is he not a perfect character? No. He makes mistakes, and that's what I like about him. Now, obviously, we can talk about the politics and all that other shit about him. That's in my other video, so if you want to go want to hear me talk about the politics and the different racial institutions within America and all that crap, you can go over into my other video. But this video is really just here to show people, hey, John Walker's not actually that bad. I'll leave a link to my old video. Alright?